Yo, YouTube, what is cooking? What if I would tell you that there is a competition to Red Bull? Sounds odd, right? But I had the pleasure to have the founder of an uprising soft drink brand lately on my stage for a little interview. And of course, I don't want to spare you from this experience as well. So stay tuned and watch along as we're going to deep dive into RektDrinks. And if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it a lot if you could leave a thumbs up here and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on more amazing content like this in the future. And now, have much fun with the video. Yo, legends, and welcome to another stream experience, as you can already see, with REKT. Today, we're going to have an interview with the amazing founder of REKT himself, or co-founder of REKT himself, OSF, up here on the stage with us, and we are going to ask all the hard pinpoint questions for you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we already have the pleasure to have the man of the hour here with us tonight, the legend himself, OSF, up here on the stage. Good afternoon in your case, I guess. How is it going, man?
I'm good. Thanks a lot for having me. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
I'm doing good. I can't complain. It was a little bit of an exhausting week, I think, for Billy as well, right?
Yeah. It's been a very stressful week.
It always is when you're in crypto, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is. Yeah, we also have Billy here with us today. Lovely co-host, because yeah, we're also kind of cooking something here a little bit with live streaming around, and yeah, it just is fitting for a couple more questions as well to keep the flow going, right? OSF, I know you've already been on a marathon tonight, or today, basically, right? Three different appearances, I guess.
Yeah, 3 today. I did 6 yesterday and 6 the day before. So today is like a bit more of a chill day, but yeah, been powering through these streams. But it's been good, man. Like I thought, I was worried it would be super tiring, but it's actually been kind of chilled. And like, every host has their own style, their own personality, different questions come up each time. So yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed it.
Man, I love to hear it. I think that just shows, right, that yeah, REKT is cooking right now. And I would say, especially on, the IRL compartment, basically, right? IRL is the alpha. We all know it. RektDrinks all over different, NFT events, blockchain events, basically. I had the pleasure myself, right, at NFT Paris to, get in touch with you. And not only that, but only drip you out with a legendary Say hoodie. So yeah, I had the pleasure to have one-to-one interaction. Really quick before we dive into it, how was the experience over at NFT Paris? Because RektDrinks was a super, super big thing there, right? Like cans all over. Yeah, how was it for you? How was that experience?
Yeah, it was good. Shit, I just realized you gave me the Say hoodie. I actually wear that all the time, so I'm very, very appreciative of that. Yeah, it was you. Yeah, I just put 2 and 2 together. I was like, wait, I'm sure I know you from somewhere.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, but it's super hot. I think you're not going to keep it up. But it's good, man. I like there we go. Let's go. Another safe person.
Yeah, the NFT
back in
yeah, and you had shades on as well, so it was a little
that's true.
a little different. Yeah. No, NFT Paris was good, man. Like we were lucky enough to have like the main stall like right in the middle of the whole event, and we didn't have the new abstract drink ready for then, but there's like whatever it is, 25,000 people that go in and out of NFT Paris, and we had our own event as well during the evening at this venue called Le Carmen, which is an amazing place, and we've had it there 3 years in a row now. So it's great. It's great to see so many of our community, which actually is based in Europe, to see them there in person. And it was a nice kind of like start to the year for us ahead of everything that we have planned.
Man, yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, I have to admit myself, right? It was outstanding. Like as you said, you had to stand in the middle of the center. Basically, there was also on one day this model, like there was this runway show, basically, which I think brought even more attention because there was like the main focus on the center of the of the convention area. I assume also stressful, right? Because you were basically all over the place, man. I've seen you jumping around everywhere. Like, how is that for you right now in terms of, yeah, slowly but steadily, it's starting to get bigger and bigger, right? You have to most likely travel more, have more appearances. Like, how did this evolve from, yeah, actually back in the days, right? From founding this brand in May 22 to, yeah, nowadays, right?
Yeah, dude, it's a lot sometimes, because even now, despite how much bigger we've become, we're still only a team of 3 full-time people, including myself. And now we have like RektDrinks, we have like the Rekt coin, we have the Rekt AI stuff, we've had the NFTs, and then we have all this like legal and corporate stuff, and now we have events, and we're traveling across the world. So it is a lot. Like, I do find myself working pretty much 24/7. Like, if I'm awake, there's always something I have to respond to, some email I have to respond to, some dev I have to reply to, or whatever, something like that, basically. So it has become a lot. I think we are in the process of expanding the team. We have, a couple of people lined up to help out on the drink side, but it's a good thing. If I was sitting here doing nothing, I would kind of be like, shit, is this thing going to work? Like, where are we going? What are we doing? And it kind of felt like that a little bit in, partway through 2023, before we started doing the RektDrink stuff. I was like, okay, we have this Rekt guy NFT, but I'm kind of like not really doing anything. Like, what's going on here? I need to think of an idea. Whereas now, and that was like during that bear market, right? Whereas now we had that big market crash at the beginning of the year, but I just barely even cared, because we just had so much going on with Rekt and had so much to do. So yeah, it's definitely very hard to balance everything. And at times it feels like I have a mountain of work to get through, but I think we've operated and done it in the right way so far. I think we're at a point in our life cycle where we're about to get a lot bigger and expand. And I think now is probably the time to get more aggressive and, have more people on our team. So we're definitely in the process of that. And it's a very exciting time, I would say.
Man, I love to hear it. Yeah, that is actually a very good transition, right? Like what you just mentioned, surviving through this bear market, because yeah, the initial NFT, right, founded in 22. And I would say you guys, yeah, kind of evolved into one of those only some still successful brands from back in the days in the bull market, right? There are not many that actually survived that in comparison of what was launched. There were so many different people that were like, yo, we're going for it. And yeah, we're going to launch this. So we're going to launch that. And then we're going to branch out into Web 2. And many didn't succeed here, right? Like, what would you say? What was this magic touch basically that you guys had that made you superior from others? Because also the NFT was very successful back in the days, right? I still remember it. I kind of missed out, unfortunately. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
I'm happy that I can get involved now in the ecosystem in other ways as well, but we are going to get into this in a second. So yeah, what would you think? What was the magic touch here in your case?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like in 2021 and 2022, there were lots of different NFT projects, right? And there were some very, very big ones with crazy high floor prices. And some of these guys raised a ton of capital at crazy high valuations. But the problem was the business model of all of these people was, okay, we had this community, we had this group of collectors. They're happy with us because the NFTs have gone up in floor price. Our business model now is to sell these people even more NFTs, and that's how we make money. And what you realize is over time, the collector or the consumer kind of feels a little bit like, oh, well, I'm kind of like the chump here. I just keep buying and buying more NFTs, and these guys can make the money, and then they dilute the whole ecosystem, then it goes lower in price. So that was a big mistake I think a lot of those guys made, and it ended up actually being the end of a lot of these, big NFT projects from 2021 and 2022. I think for us, the way we approached it was our original Rekt guy NFT was a free mint. We didn't charge anything. We didn't make any money from it. And I think something that Yuga Labs and Bored Ape Yacht Club did really well is it continued to reward their holders over time, right? Like if you had an ape, you got a free mutant airdrop, you got a free ape coin airdrop, you got a free dog airdrop, and then you got like a free other side airdrop. And those people made a lot of money over time. And then their community stuck with them forever, basically. Even now, after everything that's happened, Bored Apes have one of the strongest communities out there. People still rep their ape PFPs because they're just generally quite thankful to those founders for making them a lot of money, and as am I too, from having benefited from that ecosystem. So what we have done is like, okay, let's not make this extractive. Let's try and give back as much value as we can and try and share the upside with our community. And another thing that we did, gifted equity in our company, in RektBrands Inc., to RektGuy NFT holders. So now everyone actually owns a piece of the actual company itself. So if the company does really well, everyone owns a piece of that pie, right? So we've constructed this in a way where it's like not meant for just me to win, or just the company to win, or just the investors to win. It's been designed so everyone can win. And if everyone feels like that, our community is not just our community. Our community are business owners, but also our marketers. They're the guys out there who are championing this thing and pushing it. And that's the only way which we can be successful. And I think that's a big difference for us as a starting out, growing, challenging drinks company versus all the other drinks companies out there who aren't in Web3.
Yeah, 100% agreed in terms of that. I would definitely say that, yeah, what you just pinned on here is like this, first of all, this right distribution in terms of funding, which was a big problem back in the days, right? Where you guys, I think, took a very good step in those terms, is something that was, yeah, a very smart approach, because we've seen it, right? There were people that were, yeah, overpaying on very many ends, and then they were running out of things, and there were no business models existing anymore because there were no funds left. Also, integrating the community, I think, in those terms is like the first, or was one of those first models where we can actually see, okay, this is like the successful investment incentive that you can take with NFTs, right? Where you can say, okay, I'm going to present it in a way that you can invest in a business rather than just minting an NFT and then just having a piece of art in your wallet. Was that also the approach back in the days, or at first was it just like, okay, we're going to create a brand or an NFT or a community based on an NFT, and then we see how we go from there? Or was it always planned to go this route of RektDrinks or RektBrands in general?
We never had this whole plan, to be honest with you. Like, the NFT that I made was just like a side project for me. I had no expectations for it. That's kind of why it was a free mint. I didn't want anyone to feel like I owed them anything. You know what I mean? So it was a free mint. It had zero roadmap. And we just, I just thought, yeah, maybe it will do well for one day, then everyone will forget about it and I'll move on with my life. Like, that's what I thought it would be. But it just turned into this thing, like everyone, I guess, back then when we launched it in May 2022, markets crashed and everyone got wrecked. So people kind of just they felt like they could identify with Rekt, if that makes sense. People could resonate with it. And we then just grew this like crazy strong community over 2 years, where I was like, man, like Rekt as a thing, and not to my credit, just in general, like Rekt, people get it, people understand it, everyone's felt it. Everyone in crypto's felt getting wrecked before once, at least. And people have probably felt it in real life. So outside of crypto. So I just felt like there was a lot of potential to REKT, the word REKT, as a brand. And so we thought, okay, let's try and make something of it. Let's try and do something. And in order to do that, we had to think bigger than crypto. We had to think bigger than just our 8,000 RektGuy PFPs, right? And that's when we had the idea to do drinks. Let's make an in real life product where we can mass produce them. They're cheap to produce, and get our REKT brand and REKT logo in as many places as possible. Like, that was the main idea.
I love that. I love to hear that. It's kind of like, creating this core community at the very first beginning. And this is one of the most interesting, or one of the most important things, in my opinion, right? Like, kind of creating this supportive foundation, because this is also where many people fail, just in terms of taking the wrong approaches, right? Market their products in the wrong way, maybe. And yeah, I just love it. I've seen that the Rekt Guys community is very, very strong. Also, when I send out the post basically about the interviews, man, the likes were flooded with like Rekt Guys PFPs, also from people that I've never got in touch with before, right? So yeah, it seems like that the community is very strong, and that you definitely fulfilled a good approach here. I think, to transition over to RektDrinks, also what we mentioned before, because it's like a very challenging business as well. We're going to get into this as well. But I think what your community, or how strong your community is, has shown was, yeah, when Liquidated Lime launched, right? Because it was sold out in what, like 4 hours and 20 minutes. I did some research before because I was interested.
In the US, it sold out in 4 hours and 20 minutes, and then globally, it sold out in just under 2 days.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
Insane.
Are most of those sales also from your community?
Yeah, so interesting fact, actually. We looked at, so when you bought the drinks, you could buy them either in crypto or in fiat. And I thought like 95% of our drinks would be, bought in crypto. But when we looked at the numbers, it was 50% crypto and 50% fiat. And of that, only 50% of people actually claimed their rewards. So we had like all these normies actually buy drinks. And I think that was our community getting like, because I told everyone before, I was like, just get your friends, your family, everyone to buy these drinks. Let's get it to sell out. And I think people really did that, because whatever, it was like $69 to buy one pack of 24 drinks. So we had a lot of like normies get introduced to the brand and buy drinks, and some people bought like tons and tons of drinks, and they've ended up giving them away or distributing them to friends and family and stuff. And again, like that's a really good, I think, mechanism for brand growth. Like in my opinion, there's nothing that feels more organic than someone seeing it and seeing something in person, and your friend telling you about something. Like
yeah, just word of mouth. Exactly, word of mouth is always the best sort of marketing, because you're face to face, or like you can kind of feel that emotion between the customer and the creator, and it's a different kind of feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's just, nothing really tops that, I think. So hopefully we got some of that, given the sales numbers that we saw from normies.
Yeah, I hope that we are going to continue this in the future. Also with those collaborations that are happening right now, right? We're going to dive into this in a little bit, because I would also be interested in terms of, like you said, it's also challenging, right? In terms of like becoming a new drinks brand. And I know that Billy also had something up his mind when it comes down to that. So Billy, I know we've been talking about that before we started here. So what did you have up your mind with RektDrinks?
Like my main question, I guess, would be like, what, because the drinks industry itself is very, what's the word, like hostile for the most part, from what I've seen. So how do you guys combat that sort of like behavior and like put yourself out like above all these other big drinks brands?
Yeah, you're right. It's a really tough business to be in, because right now we were able to sell a large amount of drinks just from our website, and we were able to capture all the gross profit margin, right? But if we wanted to go down the line of, and we do, distributing supermarkets, getting it into retail and stuff, you're now competing with like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, like the big guys, right?
Exactly, and the monopolies.
Yeah, and they have crazy economies of scale, because they own all their manufacturing plants, and they can manufacture drinks super cheap, and they can therefore sell them super cheap. So if we go down that path, we will end up losing basically all our margin. But that's also our best bet in order to get our top line revenues to grow and actually get the market share up. I think the difference between us and every other existing brand out there in the drinks world is this Web3 aspect. Like, we're the only Web3 drinks company that I'm aware of that's operating at this scale. And we have an existing community that we've grown and formed over the last 3 years that have already proven once that we're able to sell out. We sold out of the number of drinks that we sold, to put it into context, is more than the entire sales number of Tesco sparkling water sales in the whole of the UK in the same time period. So that alone shows you how powerful our community is. And that's just one sale. We've only done one sale, and it's sold out. It's been sold out. So we have this abstract sale coming out. I'm really hopeful we can get a sellout for this. I think we will. And my goal is, can we hit 1 million cans within 12 months? Can we sell 1 million cans within 12 months? That's what Red Bull did in their first year of operations. And we're 25% of the way there. I think we will get 50% of the way there post abstract. And we have 2 more big drinks launches coming up in collaboration with 2 more big crypto projects. And I think that's going to get us over the line. That's going to get us over the line before we do any of the supermarket stuff. So I just think, yes, it's a very hard space to be in. And it's very saturated, highly competitive. You're dealing with some big boys, but we have real sales numbers behind us right now. And I think we can continue to achieve them. That, in my opinion, is going to make a lot of noise in that industry. And we kind of already have started to. People have been reaching out to us about distribution and stuff. Because then we can be like, look, this is a bit different because, on the first drop, people bought RektDrinks, they were able to claim points, and that then converted into the Rekt coin. And depending on like when you sold your token, you made between 3 to 8 times your money on buying drinks. Like some guys made thousands of dollars on buying the drinks and getting the token. And the worst case scenario, you have a drink, but you're also making money on the side. And there's no other drinks company or even real world company doing that right now at all in the whole world. And with the way crypto regulation is moving forwards in the US, it's going to be a good environment for us. And we're a US company as well. It's going to be a good environment for us to operate in. And, yeah, sure, Coca-Cola could start doing a token or Pepsi could start doing it. But these guys have tried to come into Web3 and they've sort of failed miserably because people don't take them genuinely because they're not crypto native, they're not Web3 native, whereas we are a crypto native brand. So we have a leg up versus all those people from the Web3 side. And we just have to get the drinks part of it right. And I think we've had a very good start and we now have a very good team around us. And we have a very big pipeline coming up this year. I think by the end of the year, that drinks industry is going to look at Rekt and think, oh shit, this is what these guys are doing is pretty fucking disruptive. And we're either worried or we're like, okay, how do we do the same thing? You know what I mean? So I think what we're doing is different. It's experimental. It's risky. No one's done it before. It may fall completely tits up. I don't really know. But I think it's our best shot of entering that industry.
No, definitely. I think it will do very well once you guys put it in supermarkets and stuff, just because of what you said. You have the sales, you have that strong community that's been brewing for 2+ years, 3+ years, 4+ years. Like, it's insane how much community can do. And then another thing you said was like how you're a Web3 native and like the other companies won't really know how to navigate and stuff. And I think with the world kind of going towards this new digital age, it's going to bring a lot more eyes to Web3 companies who are already integrating this crypto technology into their companies instead of waiting for the big ones to catch up and get in.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. I think you're just entering this world where things are starting to change, especially with how the US is moving with crypto. And we saw GameStop acquire Bitcoin just for their balance sheet, right? You saw headlines of Cantor Fitzgerald create a JV to basically acquire Bitcoin for their balance sheet. So we even, RektBrands Inc. actually bought back some Retcoin today as well. So I think you're just seeing this world where things are changing and crypto is losing this whole like scammy kind of vibe and moving into people realizing how powerful it really is. And again, like if you're crypto native, you're best place to become a first mover in that because people know you're genuine. Whereas if a big brand comes in now, people are a little bit like,
I agree on the point very much that you just mentioned. I think this is something that we especially see right now in like this cycle that we are in. Whatever the meta is right now, I think nobody can really tell it yet, right? What the current meta is going to be for 25. But it seems like people become more aware of like founders in this space, especially in this year. I have the feeling that have already like also this Web3 DGen background, right? And are integrated into the culture and know how everything works around here. This is 100% a super big advantage to have, right? This kind of also ties into, what is happening right now. And this is kind of the meta on the timeline in terms of content creation, right? And this is abstract. And this is also where you guys have taken the step right now in terms of launching this upcoming, abstract apple flavor, basically. I already love the sound of it, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Super dope. Promotional video, right, that you put out there as well. Super dope clip in my opinion. what was the reason to, take on the step? I mean, we all know that kind of multi-chain is the future, right? Was it just a fitting timing, or was it something that was already planned like some while ago to do some collaboration here just because it was fitting for the brand most likely as well?
Yeah, look, when we originally started this, we'd never really had any plans to do collaborations. But when Luca announced Abstract as a consumer crypto chain, immediately I was like, we have to be a part of this because we're a consumer brand. And I've seen what Luca's done with Pudgy Penguins. I just knew this would be like a really good, user-friendly chain that would be fun, but also a great onboarding mechanism. So I was like, right, we have to do something on Abstract, but what do we do? We're not a crypto protocol. We're not a marketplace. We're not like a crypto game or anything. So we're trying to think like, how do we do something on Abstract with RektDrinks? I was like, oh, why don't we just fucking make an Abstract drink? So chatted to Luca about the idea, and he was on board, and we worked with the team to develop the flavor, get the designs and everything done, and they've been super helpful in every part of that process. So it was one of those weird things where we didn't really have plans to do any collaborations, but that actually kind of worked out quite well. And I think it's obviously good for us because we get the opportunity to tell our story to a brand new community that maybe we don't have any prior involvement with. And then for Abstract, it's great because you have this great actual physical drink with the Abstract logo all over it. Actually, even the shipping boxes we have, they used to be brown boxes for the last drop. These are all going to be like bright green Abstract branded shipping boxes, which people can make and take great content with and post all about it. If we get these drinks into supermarkets, etc., which I'm pretty confident we will by the end of the year, you'll have Abstract there as well and everywhere. And it's a really good community engagement tool for there to be an Abstract drink. So and it ended up working really well for us to do it. And so we will have a couple more collaborations this year, but it's one of those things where like we never had the idea originally, and then you just kind of stumble on a few ideas, and hopefully it will work out pretty well. It feels like it's going to.
Man, yeah, it sounds like the attention is already there without a question. I have to say, man, right now, kind of like the OSF effect, if you could say it like that. The highest appearances so far on my stream, right? The interest is definitely there. 56 people are watching right now, asking for the codes here like crazy for the green tea rewards on the side, right? You know how it is in terms of that. But yeah, definitely, it seems like the interest is there, right? Because otherwise, also here on my end, as being like one of the like tinier streamers right now in Abstract, still a lot of people watching along right now, also in the space, listening along right now in X. So I think, you're going to be successful to reach your 50% goal with this Abstract Apple launch here. I'm definitely interested as well. And I see that the interest is also fostered like outside of, Web3 once more. Just as an example, this might be a very rough example, but I told my girlfriend as well, right, that a new REKT drink can is launching. She's like not Web3 at all. She's not integrated in this or whatever. And she was also like, okay, yeah, I want to taste it, right? I want to try it. Just because she also already tried it at NFT Paris. And now she's like, okay, let's try this new flavor as well, right? And this is kind of how it makes, also this outside connection of Web3 to Web2 once more. And I think that the interest might even be bigger here than we might expect from a Web3 side, right? Like we as the users and as the community. Do you expect an even bigger impact in terms of that? Or do you think this is mostly going to happen inside the Abstract ecosystem and the users of it?
I think the Abstract ecosystem is going to be the driver of this. It's going to be the main driver. It's going to be the main engine. This is the community that seems to be getting behind it, in addition to obviously the Rekt community as well. But I do think we will see some sales from normies and real well people. Like I said, people will start to get their friends to buy. We've started kind of entering the Web 2 side of things in terms of marketing and working with content creators there. So I think we will. I mean, it just depends on how big the demand is and how quickly it sells out. If it sells out in 1 or 2 days, it's just going to be crypto people. Like, let's be honest, that's the way it's going to be. But if it doesn't sell out in 1 or 2 days and it's over the course of a week or two, then we will get other people involved, I think, for sure. So my goal is to like make this bigger than crypto. Like I want Rekt to be an actual like proper lifestyle brand that, you know, competes with the other guys. But I want it to be like a good champion of crypto as well. I want people to be like, oh wow, like crypto is not a scam. These guys did something where they rewarded their community. They brought everyone along for the ride, and they ended up being very successful and were able to compete with some of these biggest brands that have been around for, you know, decades and possibly even centuries for some of them. So that's the aim. But in order to do that, we have to kind of like rally the troops that we have now within crypto, and, you know, try and grow and cast our net much wider than where we are right now.
Definitely agreed in terms of that. But you already said that there are some plans already happening, right? There are already some new flavors lined up or plans, some more collaborations that are coming in as well. So we're going to talk about this though in a second. I'm kind of interested also in terms of, you know, the abstract apple cans basically is not just a new flavor that's being launched, but also bridges kind of once more like this Web 2 like physical product basically with on-chain rewards as well that come with it, right? How does this work in terms of that? Just to deep dive into this really quick, maybe.
Yeah,
because
so
we were kind of scratching on REKT token before a little bit as well, and what happens here now also with XP rewards maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the last drop, the way that it worked is you signed up on rewards.rektdrinks.com, which is the same this time round. And if you complete various social quests like retweeting something, liking something, etc., you can earn points for that. And every time you purchase drinks, you can also earn points for that. And last time around, those points converted into the REKT coin, the REKT token. So we'll have something similar this time round as well. But the other thing is, like, when you purchase drinks, you'll also be able to earn abstract XP for doing it as well. So we'll probably have to have some sort of on-chain element for that. So I think likely we'll have an NFT that will be an addition that people will get airdropped after purchasing drinks. But that's going to allow you to earn abstract XP as well. So you have two kind of like carrots in this situation that you'll be able to earn and make from.
I love to hear that. So this is even expanding the palette somehow of rewards that you even earn with being part of the ecosystem, right? I guess also NFT holder community is very much involved still into everything that RektBrands has to offer. Also with, of course, having some, you know, equity of everything that's going on there, or equity of the business model, basically. How is this going to tie into that? Like, is this also something where you see some remarkable, you know, impact in terms of the collection as soon as announcements like this happen? Because people kind of tend to think, okay, maybe this gets me even more involved into the ecosystem. Or is it more that people are forming the actual, like, rewards that you can see there, right? Like the REKT token or drank points or whatever you could imagine.
Yeah, I think you know, there's multiple parts of our ecosystem, and I think for me, the REKT Guy NFT is sort of like the original thing that kicked all of this off. That was the original experiment, the original idea. That is the original REKT Guy that's getting wrecked and everything. And so to me, that's the collectible. That's like, if I really feel part of and identify with this brand, that is the NFT I will own to be able to express that sentiment, if that makes sense. With the REKT token, it's, you know, it's like a meme coin. It's like a brand. I like to think of it as a brand coin, meme coin, brand coin. It doesn't own any of the IP from REKT. It doesn't have any cash flows that go towards it. But it's a token that trades on sentiment. So if RektDrinks starts doing really well and we start selling a ton of drinks and gaining a lot of attention, people think, oh wow, like how do I express that sentiment as a trade? I'll go out there and buy the REKT token. That's kind of how I view that part of our ecosystem. So you know, the REKT Guy NFT should be like, I am attached to this REKT Guy. I feel sentimental attachment to it, and this is what I want to have as my PFP, and this is what I feel like identifies me. Like, that's that part of that ecosystem. And the REKT coin is, you know, the other part that I just explained.
Yeah, you know, I am a person, so I'm not a huge, and this is also the reason why I asked here, because I'm not like that big of a coin guy, right? I was pretty aware of what was going on here, but I was always like very deep into the NFT ecosystem, and I just then became aware because of those drank reward points that were happening back in the days, of course, as well, which was kind of also like a somehow social fi system, if you could say it like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, Billy. I know that you are like very deep into coin trading and stuff like that as well. Is that something that was on your timeline back in those days?
Yeah, I've always been. I started out as a trader in my career, and I've always been a trader. I think I always will be a trader. I can't not really trade because it's something that I enjoy doing. I think, in recent times, especially in the last 6 months or so, I've had less time to trade because I'm just so focused on REKT. Like I don't have time to sit in the trenches and go on pump fun, all that kind of stuff. Uh, I because it just REKT takes up too much time. But I'm a believer in crypto, and I'm a believer in buying things when things go lower in price, and I won't be scared to buy dips and stuff. Sometimes, you catch a falling knife and you lose money, and kind of I think I felt that the last few weeks because I just kept averaging down, but eventually it works out. So yeah, like I'll always be like a trader, I'll always be an investor, but the time I spend on that stuff is just like way less now than it was at the beginning. At the beginning, I would spend my whole day trading or researching or investing. Now I probably sometimes, and this is not even a joke, sometimes I go through the day and I haven't even looked at like the price of Bitcoin or the price of ETH or whatever, even the price of REKT sometimes, because I've just been so busy doing other stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's so I've never been in that situation before where I haven't looked at prices. Like that's how busy I've been. So, hopefully that gives you an idea. But that's why like now when I trade, it's a kind of a bit more long term. It's like, cool, like I'm going to buy Bitcoin on this dip or just, buy some stuff, hold it. If it hits my target price, sell it, but not kind of doing the day-to-day stuff anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm totally on your side here. I think that's also a little bit hard as a like big business, a brand owner, basically in those terms, right? Like Billy, how does that look like for you? Because I know that you're very deep into like coins as well. Is that something that was like on your mind or something that popped up on your timeline?
I mean, not necessarily, but like I'm always I have a similar story to OSF where like I used to trade every single day, but like now just content business stuff is all just what I'm focused on. So it's like I don't know, I don't see a lot of TA or a lot of I don't know. But yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think that shifted a little bit in general, right? Like the token approach, and then compared to the content creator side that we see here. And I think this is also something that we see with REKT right now, right? Kind of this appearance, like being a little bit more out there, having those appearances at different events, and like always being like in front of the people, right? Or in front of the eyes of the people. I'm curious, like throughout this year, what is planned in your terms of appearances right now? I think Token 2049 in Dubai is most likely a destination, right? What else is on the timeline?
Yeah,
So 25.
Yeah, we'll be in Dubai next week for Token 2049. So there's quite a few abstract events. So if you're at any of the abstract events, we'll have all our drinks there, and we'll have the new drink there as well, so you'll get the opportunity to try it before they are released. So yeah, definitely make sure if anyone's in Dubai to swing by. And we're at a few more events as well. I think we put out a tweet earlier today, just saying where we're going to be. The next place is going to be in Lisbon for NFC. So we'll have a stall there like we had for NFT Paris. We are sponsoring a couple of events, so we'll have a bunch of drinks there as well, which will be quite fun. We have another drink coming, which may or may not be ready for Lisbon. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight, but possibly.
Okay.
It would be good if we did because it'd be nice to showcase it.
Yeah, Lisbon is pretty great around here in Europe as well, to be fair, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or it becomes bigger. Let's say it like that.
Exactly. And then NFT NYC is in late June. We're still 50-50 on that, really. It's not as big an event as it has been, but we do have a big community out there in NYC. So it's all, we have one thing we're kind of like waiting on, which might mean we will have to go to LA instead of NYC in June.
I'm in LA.
Oh, there
Come
we
out
go.
to LA. Come to LA.
Exactly. So we're just if that goes through, that will be like quite a big activation. So we're just waiting to figure out how that one goes. And then August, we're going to go to Scotland. We're going to go to Glasgow for block start at the beginning of August. So that's what we have planned so far, like through the summer. And then I think September, October is kind of like the Asia round trip, isn't it? So, you know, hopefully we'll be in. I've never been to Korea or Japan for any crypto events. We went to Token 2049 Singapore last year, but we did some small events. So that would be the next step for us, I think.
Man, I love to hear that, you know, there are already so many basically events planned through and that there are so many appearances being planned. So for everybody down there in the chats as well, right? If you are from at one of those locations, definitely make sure to check it out because yeah, I made the experience already at Paris, right? First of all, like atmosphere, super amazing. And then also like having this one-on-one connection basically with the founders and like around there as well, super chilled. Always a fan of that, without a question. I am interested, like, are there also approaches being taken or thoughts already in terms of, you know, expanding into other areas? Because something where I could definitely think about would be, for example, games conventions, right? Or something where just like basically, you know, energy drinks or soft drinks are kind of like the norm. Are there already some thoughts being taken in terms of that from the RektDrinks brand?
Yeah, definitely. I think crypto conferences are great, but the downside is they're expensive. They're more expensive than any other industry because it's crypto. And you're kind of just marketing to the same people over and over again. So we need to, you know, we need to expand our horizons and get newer people into our ecosystem. So I think gaming conferences are definitely on the table. I also think potentially like fitness / like bodybuilding type stuff. Like right now we just have our drink, which is a flavored sparkling water, but we are working on more drinks, which will be a bit more functional in nature. And we've been in development of those products so far this year. And we're also working on more products that aren't just drinks. So by the end of the year, when you go to the Rekt store online, there's going to be a bunch of different stuff. You know, not just sparkling water. So that opens us up to, you know, other industries like streaming, gaming, working out, sports. And I think we can start to attend some of those conferences, which are actually, you know, way cheaper for us to like market in and sponsor than crypto, but will still get us like a target audience that I think is what we're looking for, really.
Man, I think this is a super smart approach because I guess approaching, yeah, in general, Web 2 or going the Web 2 route or just like this is always so hard to say, right? Because Web 2 route is a games convention. Actually, yeah, kind of like the Web 2 route. Most likely it is, right? But just getting seen by other people that are not around here in this bubble, right? Because I think slowly but steadily the space is growing, but one of the biggest issues that we still have is, as you already mentioned, like always having the same echo chamber and basically always talking to the same people, right? Without a question. And going those or taking those steps right now to expand somewhere else after already having this core community and basically those followers around here that are going to be there regardless and that are most likely going to sell out your abstract Apple can drop within 2 days once more, most likely over in the US, right? I think, you know, this is definitely a smart step also to sort or to serve another niche, because you already said you're kind of like experimenting a little bit right now with like other type of products as well. So yeah, I think that the future is pretty bright in terms of that, and I'm super bullish already on what you guys are building. I have to admit, right? Like Rekt was always on my timeline somehow. I never really had the chance to really get involved in terms of the ecosystem since I didn't have an NFT, right? I'm like somebody that is, yeah, you know, floating around here a little bit, if you could say it like that. And yeah, after that appearance though at NFT Paris, it caught my interest more and more, right? I got more involved into the ecosystem, of course, around here as well. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the future and what you guys are going to present here, without a question.
Appreciate that. We've been working very hard on stuff, so we're looking forward to rolling things out and being able to get launches out and everything, because I think the first 4 months of this year we were very quiet because we were just heads down building, creating this stuff, and now it's the exciting part. We actually get to tell people about what we've been doing. So it's a very exciting time for us, and we definitely appreciate all the support and everything. So
Man, I really love this answer. Before I kind of get to like the last part, I would say around here of this segment, because I know that you're a busy man as well, and we are already like 45 minutes in around here. I know people are itching for the code, guys. Don't get crazy. Don't get crazy because it already ends in around an hour. Oh my god, we need the code, right? But I have like one thing still up my mind in terms of that, right? But Billy, before I get over to this, like since we're talking about the business side right now, right? Like RektDrinks and kind of are coming to the end of like this little segment here, I would say. Is there something up your mind still that, when it comes down to like the Rekt brand in general?
No, I just wanted to say that, when you were talking about all the events and stuff, me personally, I'm bullish on anybody who puts themselves out there that much, like that's how you interact with the people that you talk to every day. That's your community. And so, it super bullish on everything I've heard today so far. And as someone who didn't really know too much about the drink coming in, I now know probably a lot more. Well, I do know a lot more, but like I know, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling now.
That's good. That's the idea. Like, I wanted to come on to these streams, and like, there's probably a lot of people like yourselves. You've maybe seen Rekt around, or you've seen Rekt guys, and you kind of have an idea of what it is, but maybe you haven't had the chance to learn the full story or know about it in depth. So it's been a really good opportunity for me to like start telling that story again, because not everyone maybe knows it. And so I appreciate you guys for letting me do that.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I appreciate you as well for taking the time, of course, without a question. And yeah, since we're already talking about rambling and yapping a little bit, we still got a couple of minutes here left. And I would definitely love to dive into this a little bit as well, because, we're always talking about like founders and like how community want to see this and like what community expect from their founder. But of course, there's also like a person behind the screen as well, right? And behind this brand and like behind OSF, of course, as a person. Right. And I'm kind of interested, like, how is it for you, right? As like, not like as Rekt guy here, but as like OSF seeing some shifts in the market. Like, what are like certain things that, you expect from your year 2025, maybe besides everything that's happening here with RektBrands and RektDrinks?
Yeah, like I'm pretty constructive and bullish on the markets overall. I usually am, but I think we had this dip in the last few weeks. I don't think my view on markets is I think tariffs are probably a bit overblown. I don't think they're going to end up going through with the whole thing. And I think they'll come to at least some temporary resolutions across the board. And I don't think the cycle is over. I think we have had like a blip, have had a pullback like you generally do in bull markets. And we have seen so much positive fundamental development for crypto, especially in the US. Like, just think, this time last year, the SEC was trying to call everything a security, was trying to, prosecute Coinbase and MetaMask and all these guys, right? And now they've dropped all those cases. Trump is pro crypto. They have a crypto task force in the US. And not only that, but the US now is not selling their Bitcoin. It's a strategic stockpile of Bitcoin, and they may even buy more. So like, it's the biggest U-turn for crypto, both fundamentally and structurally, we've ever seen. And I feel like people got over bullish on it at the beginning of the year because they expected the US to like start buying Bitcoin yesterday, which wasn't going to happen. Like, these things take time. But after tariffs and everything, I think people have forgotten about how bullish that stuff is. And it's bullish long term. It takes time for these things to play out. But I now think we've gone from being overexcited about it to just forgetting about it. And so I'm very constructive for the rest of this year. I think we've seen the lows of this year. I think we'll retest all-time highs on Bitcoin. I think we'll retest all-time highs on many other coins as well. and it's a really good time to be in the space as a participant, whether you're a trader, collector, builder, content creator, whatever it is. This space is only getting bigger, and you now have the tailwind of what's going on in America behind it. So, I think personally, I feel very excited by it. It's sometimes a bit scary because it's like, shit, stuff's going to happen and we have to act quick so we can make the most of it. And you feel a bit like, I've got to, got to get shit done and everything. But it's definitely a good thing. And it's a big, big opportunity, I feel like, in the space in general.
Yeah, 100% agreed. I'm kind of curious just because it pops up my mind right now. One thing that is like a big thing, at least like what was a big thing throughout my spaces and streams throughout the last couple of days. And you were just saying like, sometimes you have like this feeling, I should have put more in there, and maybe I should check those shorts, but need to get some work done. Like, what is some way for you basically to kind of maintain a little bit of like this, I would say, work-life balance, right? And keep like all this, basically this balance up of all that stress that is happening there, and then also kind of, calm down a little bit from all the things that are happening around here.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Like, I try to personally take a little bit of time off every week. Like, I really like playing golf. I'll try and play like golf once a week. I work out quite a lot. I do boxing quite a lot. Like, I'll spar and go boxing once a week. So like, those are the things that kind of like take my mind off this space sometimes. And for me, it has to be like a physical activity where I'm doing something skill related or something that gets my heart rate higher. But doing that stuff is good because like, I'll go and work out and then I'll come back and I'll feel really good. And I'll be like, oh, like now I feel like I have a fresh perspective on what I'm doing. I'm not just like, when you're like at your screen every single day, 24/7, you get into this bubble, right? Into this bubble, and you get tunnel vision, and you can't think, in my opinion, coherently. So that's something that I do personally to take some time off, and it definitely helps. Like, I make a thing of it. Like, I make sure I do like 2 or 3 physical activity things every week, even if it's only for an hour, even if it's only for half an hour. I make sure I do it because I think it helps me in everything else that I'm doing within crypto. If I didn't do it, I would just be too one-dimensional, I think, and that's the way I feel about it.
Man, I love this as an answer. I personally love it when, also, of course, founders around here, because we see that always on the Degen side, that we're always like 24/7, and there's no really break that people are taking here, and this can be very challenging, of course, as well. So I always love it when I also hear from founders, of course, around here as well, that they're also taking some time off and kind of getting their head free, because this also helps you to focus a lot, right? You said it yourself as well. This kind of helps you to bring things forward, especially if you're working on such big things like this around here.
Yeah.
And now I would have like, I have one last like personal question, I would say. Nah, it's more like a funny question that I have here prepared for you. And it is basically the following, my man. What is the worst way to react if you get caught cheating? I'm kind of curious. Yo, this hits him off topic right now. I know.
Wow.
I have to sprinkle something in here. Some funny question. So, what would be the worst reaction if you get caught like in flagranti? Do you have something up?
The worst reaction? How do you mean? Like my reaction to someone else cheating?
Yeah, your reaction. You get caught cheating. Like, what is the worst thing that you can bring forward when you get caught cheating?
God, I don't even know how to answer that question. That's a hard question.
Buy REKT.
I'll take it.
Buy REKT because I got wrecked. Exactly. Cheers, Billy. You got my back.
Buy REKT. Let's go. You heard it.
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah, I always love to catch people off guard at the very first end of those live streams here as well, because you should always end with a laugh, right? Let's be honest.
Always.
Also, when we're talking about such serious topics like, of course, businesses and development and partnerships and rewards and everything that everybody is, of course, interested in. I would think in terms of like wrapping it up around here, how can we proceed right now, right, with the upcoming thing here that is definitely the abstract Apple drop? I think that's the most interesting part for everybody around here, as well as, of course, the rewards code, right, for the Rekt rewards. Like everybody's already waiting for it. You know how it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, how do we go from here when we want to participate in that?
Yeah, so head over to rewards.rektdrinks.com. If you're already registered, you should see the quest there. If you're not, you can register with your Abstract Global Wallet. You'll be able to earn points for doing various social quests. When you purchase drinks, if you do it through here, you'll be able to earn points for drinks purchases, or you can purchase them directly from rektdrinks.com and claim your points afterwards. And I will give you guys the code. So if you type in this code on, you'll see this quest. If you type in this code, you will get 500 free points. And the code is special.
Special.
Yeah, SP. Sorry, I said that in a special way, didn't I? But yeah, it's special. SPECIL. There you go. And hit
There we
submit.
go.
And there you go.
So
500 free
back to
points.
shots. There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I also drop it for you here in the chats, of course, right? And there we go. So your rewards, right? If you were participating in here, of course, I appreciate you a lot as well. But before we come here to an end, one last question for you here, really quick. Yeah, what is your plan for the weekend? What are you planning for tonight, for the weekend in general, before the big event in Dubai?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I'm just going to have a chilled weekend. I do have a lot of work to get through on the rec side, so unfortunately for me, it's going to be a working weekend. But I will try and probably take some time off this evening to have a drink and like go get dinner or something. But yeah, before we head to Dubai, I just got like a lot of stuff to get through. So nothing. I wish I had a more exciting answer for you, but unfortunately, it's more getting wrecked.
No, it's actually what I kind of expected without a question, right? Because I can imagine before everything over there happens, it's a lot of things that you have to take care of course. And then most likely afterwards, it's more like where you can't take at least one day off, right? To kind of come down from all the traveling and everything that happened there.
Exactly.
Oh, somebody wants to know really quick. Sorry about that. I don't want to keep you here for too long, right? But somebody wants to know what your favorite movie is.
Good question. My favorite movie is Rocky. I would say Rocky 4 is my favorite movie, but the entire Rocky series, I've always been a fan of it since I first watched it. So easy answer for me there.
Easy answer here. What's your favorite, Billy? I'm kind of curious.
My favorite, this is actually a very hard one because like I have a lot of favorite movies. I would say probably Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift though.
Oh,
it's not because it's like a crazy good movie or anything, but just because like the time it came out, me being a little kid loving drifting cars and stuff, and it's always been like a solid pick for me.
Man,
Nice.
I love this. I love this. So some favorite movie recommendations for you guys here as well. And as well as the code, right, for the rewards. I put it for you guys here in the chat, special for you guys. And yeah, now OSF, I appreciate you so much for jumping in here. Unfortunately, I will not make it to Dubai, but who knows? Maybe we might meet in Portugal once more. And
Awesome.
yeah, have a little bit of a conversation there. Maybe we can drip you out with some more stuff that I have with me. We'll see.
yeah. Hopefully.
And yeah, of course, I wish you all the best, right, for the upcoming drop. I'm definitely going to participate in that as well. For everybody that is interested, right, affiliate code is of course existing for Greenity as well, which is down there in the referral links for you guys. And yeah, now I wish you, of course, a good evening. I hope it is at least a little bit relaxing for you, right?
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, all the best for Dubai and all the upcoming events that are coming here. And yeah, for 2025 for RektDrinks, Rekt World Domination, as everybody says, right?
Rekt
Appreciate
World
it.
Domination. Let's go.
Thanks a lot for having me, guys. Thanks for the time. And yeah, let's go get Rekt World Domination.